Welcome, sir.
They should be able to.
Yeah, I'm going to turn you on.
That Sidra. Hey, you looking like Sidra right here. I'm going to switch that up. Hey, Josh. Check your mic. Check.
What? Why did he push his button?
Hey, look, he tried.
Hey. It's in Lafayette. It's open. We're not closing it to non-Lafayette. It's a good question, and we're going.
I'd like to call this meeting to order of the Parish Council. Councilman Carlson will lead us in prayer, and Councilman Tabor with the pledge.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for tonight. We thank you for this opportunity that we have to meet. God, I pray that during this trying time that you would continue to lead us and guide us in the steps that we take, that you would continue to lead and guide our administration, that every step that we take would honor you and would be the best for our citizens and the people of Lafayette Parish. Pray that you would be with us through this time. We pray for the protection of the people of this parish, and we know that your hand is upon us and will lead us through this. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We welcome each and every one of you to the Lafayette Parish Council meeting. As the presiding officer and vice chair, I would like to announce the following. This is a public hearing. To address the council on any item on the agenda, please fill out the request form and submit it to the clerk prior to the call of the agenda item, or you will not be given the opportunity to speak. Staff assistance is available if needed. Items for submission to the council should be handed to Council Clerk Mrs. Veronica Williams, seated to my left in the middle. When addressing the council, state your name and title for the official record. The 5-minute rule will be in effect. No debating or confrontational statements will be allowed. The front row to my left is for media only. Food and drinks are not allowed in the auditorium. Please silence all phones and electronic devices at this time. Meeting procedures are by resolution and not Robert's Rules of Order. All documents with reference to meetings can be found on the LCG website. And finally, the council encourages your involvement in boards or commissions. If interested, call 291-8800. A couple of chair announcements. Parish Chair Nakin is unavailable to attend tonight's meeting, but we do sit as a quorum. As Vice Chair, I will be conducting the meeting. I would like to wish Council Member Kevin Nakin a happy birthday, which he will celebrate on April 5th. There will be a special meeting of the Lafayette Parish Council directly following this meeting. The following items are deferred indefinitely and will not be discussed or acted upon at this meeting. Item number 6, discussion item in regards to parish millages. And item number 8, introduction of PO-012-2020 in regards to 119 August Street condemnation. These items will be placed on upcoming agenda items, not yet determined when it is safe for the public to attend the meetings. I do have a very brief comment that I'd like to make at this time, and first I'd like to really just thank those who did show up, and more importantly, I thank you for your patience and understanding as we work through the issues brought on by COVID-19. Certainly the challenges are many, and certainly required some creative thinking, creative solutions as to how we would maintain social distances this evening, compliance with the public health emergency proclamation, and compliance with the edicts of the charter. I certainly thank Ms. Williams and her staff for your time and strength to get this job done. And Mayor President, you and your staff, hats off to you as well. Great job. I know you have been out there with the press conference and keeping everybody informed, and I think we all do appreciate your due diligence. And so thanks. And certainly to our media for your coverage of all the activities that have been going on. It certainly has helped, I think, to calm the storm, as you might say. So thanks, Claire, and others who might be here with us this evening. Any other council members have any comments that they'd like to make at this time? Okay, not hearing any. Mr. Mayor President, I will recognize you or someone from staff.
All right.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
Mr. Rubin is indicating us to talk.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Bear with me. All right, Mr. Rubin, I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, even though you forgot about me, I'll forgive you this time.
You're sitting too far from me.
I know you need a hug.
Yeah.
Okay, once again, we want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. A couple of things I would like to discuss. First and foremost, for those of you who are listening and know about the annual Easter egg hunt that we do every year, which would be our 20 this year, but we had to cancel it. So we want to let everyone know about that so no one shows up. Unfortunately, we had to cancel it, but we're not going to forget about it, and God spare, we're going to get through this and do something at a later date. The feeding of the kids at the schools right now, a lot of people are talking about doing pop-ups and wanting to help out, and we appreciate that. But instead of doing pop-ups and we doubling up on everything that we're doing, what we're going to be trying to do is get in touch with either United Way or AVOD, and they will be able to direct you in exactly what we're doing, because we don't want to infect anyone. The pop-ups are great, but there are still guidelines that we're trying to follow right now. So please, we appreciate the volunteers. Get in touch with United Way. You can even get in touch with me if you have any questions or concerns, because everyone wants to help, but we just don't know. There's a lot of things going on, and we have to keep safety in mind first, guys. The pop-ups are great, but let's do it the proper way, if you don't mind. Thanks for everyone who's out there on the front line, and we're going to continue praying for everybody. We also have at 12 o'clock, we're asking everyone, stop what you're doing at 12 o'clock. Let's pray about what's going on. Let's try to make that happen every day at 12 o'clock until we defeat this virus. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Okay, I'll go over to the Mayor President for your comments.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair, and Councilman Rubin. I thought that was well said, and I know how much the Easter egg hunt means to you and our community, and I was excited to join in with you. You were very informative to me and during our meetings that I always look forward to, so I appreciate all that you do, and each of you four gentlemen, and same thing to our chair, Councilman Nakam. That said, I have nothing for the Parish Council to present, but I will answer any questions that you may have of me.
Any comments or questions for the Mayor President from the council?
And I think the Mayor President at the joint meeting will give an update on either the testing site, COVID, at the joint meeting. Okay.
Yes, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
No,
Good.
thank you.
Okay, Ms. Williams, I'll turn to you for any public comments. If so, read the announcements.
No, sir, we've received no email comments, no call-ins for or against, and we sent out an email inviting the public. We did send out an email advising the public that they can watch it from the comfort of their home on AOC via the Ustream link. So we did not receive any emails.
Okay, any questions for Ms. Williams? No comments. Okay, the next item is number 6, Again, that item has been deferred indefinitely. Ordinance for final adoption. This is a public hearing, and blue sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The five-minute rule does apply. Jeremy, please read.
Parish Ordinance 9, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget and adjusting manning tables of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by authorizing the use of existing funds in the amount of $989.62 within the Office of the Chief Administrative Officer, Juvenile Detention Division, to adjust the hourly rate of one juvenile detention maintenance worker position up to the rate that is recommended by civil service.
All right, I need a motion and a second.
Second.
Been moved by Mr. Tabor, seconded by Councilman Carlson. Council discussion? Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
We call for the vote.
District 1?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved.
Okay, introductory ordinance. Item number 8 is deferred indefinitely. I ask for a motion to adjourn. No motion. Meeting adjourned. Let's stay put. We'll go right into the special meeting. I'll call the special meeting of the Parish Council to order. We do have an introductory ordinance. This is a public hearing, and blue sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the council. Again, the 5-minute rule does apply. Jeremy, please read.
Parish Ordinance 13, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring $500,000 of prior year fund balance in the combined public health fund to the Public Health Unit Maintenance Fund for COVID-19 related expenses.
Ms. Williams, any public comments on the introductory ordinance?
No, sir.
I'll ask for a motion and a second. Been moved by Mr. Carlson, seconded by Mr. Rubin. Council discussion? Mr. Tabor.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
can we anticipate getting reimbursed for this?
We will, I will prepare as if we will not be reimbursed, and I would ask this council to prepare for same. But understand that we will do everything we can to get reimbursed. I see no reason why the
There's a
federal
chance, I
government.
mean, it
It's
should
a
be,
strong
yeah,
chance. Not only, and that's a good, fair question. I just want to be a realist about it. I think the president has shown that he's in front of this, and he knows that the fight will be fought on the local level, which I think is the right thing to do from the federal government. I do not foresee any reasonable obstacles that we wouldn't get reimbursed, at least maybe not 100%, but some reimbursement there. And I think the proactive measures that we as leaders are taking in the community will help us or strengthen our reimbursement possibilities.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Councilman Carlson?
For this, are these already dedicated? Do we know what we're going to be spending this money on, or is it putting that money aside in preparation for what needs that might arise?
So it's our understanding that we will fall far below this number, but just in case something happens, because as the council had mentioned earlier, we don't know what this virus
Right.
will have in store for us, but we're going to be prepared to fight it. This is going mainly to our volunteers for PPE, personal protective equipment. A lot of that is going to be needed. As you can see on the news, on the federal level, there's a lot of shortage. So we're getting ahead of that and working very diligently.
Is this the equipment for some of the screening sites, or?
Yes. No, for the exactly.
Specifically
these
for those
screening
sites?
Correct. And we've had a lot of good leadership in the community to help us out with resources such as tents and things like that.
Any other? Oh, Mr. Rubin, I'm sorry. Mr. Rubin. You're sitting too far from me, Mr. Rubin. Go ahead.
Okay, of course, everyone in here is on board about trying to get ahead of this program. The only thing that I think we as the council is going to ask of you, if you don't mind. We need some information when you throw things at us. I mean, when you give us these introductory ordinance and whatnot, give us a little more information or a little more time. I understand sometimes it happens as such. Give us some information. You know what I'm saying? As far as what we're spending monies on and things of such. I think that would be fair,
Sure.
if you don't mind. I think that's our second or third time asking you that one.
Well, Councilman, I didn't foresee the COVID-19 virus coming in this country, and I believe this administration can hang its hat on the transparency that we've had so far. And I believe I've made my directors quite available to this council and to the other council. And I continue to urge you to call them at any time to include our Director of Finance, who will go above and beyond to provide a line item amount to you and to anyone else that would like to request it. So thank you for that request. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and like I said, I understand, because it was a last minute. When it's last minute like so, and we catch it at the last minute, if we can get just a tidbit more, we'd appreciate it. Like I said, we all for it.
Sure.
But we because we got people asking us questions, and we're like, like we don't, it's like we're not communicating, it seems like. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So just to make us all look like we're all on the same page, we'd appreciate that.
You got it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, any other comments from the council or Mr. Mayor President? Anything else to add?
No.
Okay. If not, then we shall call for the vote.
District 1?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
Motion to introduce is approved.
Meeting adjourned.
The next meeting will convene at 5:30.
Get a grandbaby? Yeah, I was about to say, you can have another one. Yeah, man. Awesome. All right.
Yeah, they're going to move it for us.
Oh, man. Yeah, are you okay? You good?
Yeah, I just actually answered on the newspaper about pastor call, want to see what the church is doing. I direct him to the doors.
That's good. Okay.
Oh. Did I leave you hanging recently? Did I leave you hanging recently? Thank you.
I like that jacket.
Say that. Can I get a copy of this, man? We need to take a picture of this, man, and put this in the archive. You sound like you got a prayer on your mind.
I figure when's the next time we're gonna have a meeting like this?
Yep. Look up, guys. Look up.
Too spread out.
Some unprecedented stuff.
Or you? I call the parish meeting to order.
We welcome you to a special joint meeting of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council. As presiding officer and chair, I would like to announce the following. This is a public hearing. To address the councils on any item on this agenda, please fill out the request form and submit it to the clerk prior to the call of the agenda item, or you will not be given the opportunity to speak. Staff assistant is available if needed. Items for submission to the council should be handled to the council clerk, Ms. Veronica Williams, seated to my left in the middle. When addressing the councils, state your name and title for the official record. The 5-minute rule will be in effect. No debating or confrontational statements will be allowed. The front row to my left is for media only. Food and drinks are not allowed in the auditorium. Please silence all phones and electronic devices. Meeting procedures are by resolutions and not by Robert's Rules of Order. All documents with reference to meetings can be found on the LCG website. And finally, the council encourages your involvement in boards or commissions. If interested, please call 291-8800. The following items are being deferred indefinitely and will not be discussed or acted upon at this meeting. Item number 9, introduction of JO-012-2020 regarding the Crime Prevention Commission. Item number 10, introduction of JO-012-2020 regarding the Downtown Management Committee. These items will be placed on an upcoming agenda, not yet determined, when it is safe for the public to attend. My announcement is that the viewers for the first time, you've seen we all set up in a different way. It's only because of what's going on with the virus. So just be patient with us. We'll just stay tuned. Any chair announcements? I see one. Ms. Hebert?
Thank you, Chairman. Just wanted to announce, in previous meeting, I announced that I had scheduled an allocation table meeting on April 7th. Wanted to let you all know that that is going to be rescheduled at a later date due to the situations that we're dealing with. The committee that was going to be flying in to attend the meeting is obviously not wanting to travel, and we all understand that. So we are rescheduling the allocation meeting it was going to be a joint council meeting on a later date, and I will announce that in the future. Thank you.
Council Leader, Ms. Cook.
Thank you. I just have one announcement about a community event that I'm sure everyone realizes is probably canceled, but the Healthy Kids Running Series, which was supposed to start this Sunday, is being postponed until April 17th. So we're not necessarily giving up on it yet, but we are postponing till April 17th. So that's the Healthy Kids Running Series. Thank you.
Okay. Mayor, President, Mr. Guillory, any announcements today?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Appreciate the time and also appreciate everybody's hard work during this unforeseen disaster, or natural disaster is what we're kind of referencing as. But we will get through this by exercising proactive measures and leading by example, which I know both councils are doing right now by exercising social distancing. So I applaud you for that, and I applaud you for all your activities in our wonderful community that we are called to serve. So thank you so much. I have one proclamation. And then also, I'd like to take this opportunity to answer any questions that you have. Tomorrow, we have a very big event that we're still going to be working till the wee hours of the night to finalize, but we're almost there, and we're at least have everything finalized, the big pictures to present to the public, and that is our screening site at the Cajun Dome, and the hours of operation will be from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. The screening, I want to clarify a little bit, and we're going to have to further clarify this $50 situation. The screens are free. So when you go to the Cajun Dome, you drive in through and you maneuver through the stations. The screening aspect of it, there's no charge. But everybody that goes needs to be prepared to have your driver's license or a government-issued ID, along with your insurance card. For those who do not have insurance, our healthcare providers are asking that you be prepared to pay $50 at some point for the actual test, should you need it. So the screening process may be able to just tell you that you don't need a test or don't recommend that you need a test. I'll defer to the healthcare providers on that. Also, I ask that you promote this within your districts, respective districts, and throughout our parish, the ability to call in 311. So our 311 service, they're doing a phenomenal job on all of our services as far as, the regular routine government functions, but we're going to partner with some healthcare providers, a variety of healthcare providers throughout the parish and the surrounding areas to man a special call center through 311 to be able to actually do a screening process over the phone. This is very important because one, it's free, and two, it might help, and it should help lessen the strain on our healthcare providers at these testing sites or these screening sites. So, and also, help with the overall health system, our ERs, our walk-in clinics, private primary care physicians, things like that. So please encourage that. But on that note, I welcome any questions that you have in regards to our screening processes. Also, another bit of information, we will have the Broussard location for our parish residents and surrounding areas, if need be, located at the Broussard Sports Complex. What's the official name, Sid? St. Julian. I always call it the Broussard. St. Julian. Okay. So, and we'll have that site up and running, or excuse me, we'll have that site with everything short of personnel, and will be secured by law enforcement. Just in case tomorrow we start getting through this screening process, and then we realize that we need some more manpower. So that site will be available too, should we need it. Let's see. Oh, good. Just literally, like I said, we're going to be up till late tonight finalizing everything, but this is really good news. Hopefully our media outlets pick this up. No charge for a flu test. Fantastic. Only for the COVID test, the COVID-19 test. That's a huge, huge benefit to our community. And again, our healthcare providers are really, really going above and beyond to serve our community. We have representatives from our ambulance services to our two major hospitals, primary care doctors, our two emergency room head physicians. I don't know if that's the official name for them, but Dr. Cornage and Dr. Claymont from Lafayette General and Our Lady of Lourdes, respectively, have really gone above and beyond their nursing staffs to do this initial push, man these operations. And we are calling on all healthcare providers to stay tuned, and if you're in a position to volunteer, we need your time, we need your expertise. Anyone from nursing assistants all the way to a medical doctor. This is going to take a team effort and a community effort to combat this very contagious virus that has no cure. But I know we'll get through it. We've gone through things before in the past as a community, nothing different, but let's be wise about it and exercise common sense, and these screening sites are definitely a proactive measure that I appreciate both councils' support in doing this. You guys are working really hard, and I appreciate your teamwork in this effort. Other than the Cajun Dome and Broussard, if need be, we have 3 additional locations in our area. Mayors have secured these sites with us, so we appreciate that. The Youngsville Sports Complex is available should we need it. The Karen Crow Community Center is also available should we need it. And then the Public Library in Scott is also available should we need that location as well. If it ramps up and we need additional locations, I have no doubt in my mind. And if it gets to that point, I'm sure we'll have a lot more resources available to us. But we have some other facilities within the parish if we need to flex in that regard. So again, thank you to both councils for all your hard work and your partnership in these efforts. It's truly an honor to serve with you. And that being said, any questions you have, I'll be happy to answer.
Let's see. Oh, Mr. Gilbo. Go ahead.
You need a booster chair. Mr. Mayor, President, again,
It's
I want
unique.
John Gilbo. Mr. Mayor, President, I do
Yes,
have
Mr. Chair.
first, I'd like to say thanks again to you and your staff. I know y'all have been on top of this, working very diligently to keep us informed, and hopefully through all of these efforts will keep us safe, and hopefully we'll get through this. I know we will get through this. My question, and it's really not a question, just clarification. So they will go through a screening process. If they go through the screening process and it looks like they need to be tested, will it be done on site or will they be sent to a medical facility?
If they have the test on site at that particular point.
Well, let's say the Cajun Dome for tomorrow.
Yeah, no, exactly, but
yeah.
we have limited resources. We're anticipating, should they get to that point in the screening process, that there are tests available to it. And kudos again to our healthcare providers. They're able to use the kit to test for the flu. If it's negative, it's my understanding that this same swab, the same sample will be able to be shipped off for a COVID-19 test. Remember, that's not instant. Now, the flu would be a rapid flu screening process, so you'll have those results relatively quick. You know, and by quick, 30 minutes to 45 minutes. And this is a situation where our residents will be able to drive through. They're not getting out of the car. Our healthcare providers are protected, taking measures to do that. But at that point, they'll be tested. Now, if we run out of tests, then our healthcare providers will make some on-the-ground decisions.
So the swab, if it does look like it may be positive, they would be sent off to a lab for further evaluation, and then the individual would be notified. Generally, how long do we know how long it takes for
Well, we're here 5, but it could be longer. Okay, so my understanding is it could be anywhere from 5 to 14 days. As we're noticed, we're still waiting on a large, well, I say large, more than 20 samples right now that we're waiting on to get the results for the COVID-19 virus here in Lafayette Parish.
Okay, thanks.
No, thank you. Yes, sir.
And
Oh.
and Parish
Mr.
Council members, if you would like to speak, just go stand to the podium right next to John.
Mr. Councilman Nakane?
AB is welcome. I'll yield the floor right now, AB Rubin. Yeah, he's got to stand by. I'm sitting down. I'm doing good.
Hey, it's hot?
Yeah,
It's
hi.
hot.
Okay, I also want to thank you for the work that you're doing with that. Would you recommend, like our first responders, our health providers, and people like that to try to be proactive and go and take this test tomorrow? Would you highly recommend them to go? No?
They you know, I cannot hear in 2 people at one. I'm not blessed with those capabilities. Let me tell you though, on that note, I'm joking. Y'all want to know who's working probably the hardest working person in this parish right now? So I'm going to be quiet, and that's our Chief Administrative Officer. She's doing a phenomenal job. She personally walked through both sites. I only did one site today, so she doubled my workload, but that was great. Can you please ask that question? Oh, the healthcare, okay. I will defer to.
In other words, who you recommend be the primary people to go? People that's taking care of people in the hospital?
Sure.
Our first responders, our volunteers in the community that's trying to help out with what you guys are doing? You recommend them or just what?
And Sidra, if you need to speak, you can pick up the mic. Your mic is hot.
Yeah, it's hot.
Oh, no, she has my ear, V. Don't worry about it. I'm kidding. That's fine, but I do have some thoughts. Yeah, like a team effort. But I would say this. So we do have a little criteria or set of criteria that we're encouraging those. I know the intent behind your question. It's basically who do we advise go to first, basically. Stay tuned to our LCG website. It might be on there right now, but if not, by tonight, we'll have a little link that'll give some further guidance. For example, individuals that are pregnant are recommended to go get screened. Our elderly with comorbid situations, or at prone to illnesses should be screened. But we have an exhaustive list that will have a link on our website, but also Our Lady of Lourdes and Lafayette General's websites also have links on recommendations as to who needs to go get this screen. But again, I urge everyone starting tomorrow morning to call 311. I mean, that is so easy. It's free. Call it. I see some media outlets out here. Please encourage your listeners to dial 311. We'll have a link or an option to contact healthcare providers that can guide you through a screening process. And maybe that phone call ends with go to the Cajun Dome to get screened, or go to your local healthcare provider. But Councilman Rubin, there will be a list of recommended individuals that are being strongly suggested to get screened. Good question.
And I will supplement that. Mayor President Guillory is exactly right. Those are the types of individuals presenting. But even prior to going, if you're not symptomatic, you should not go for screening. If you're not feeling ill, if you're not running a fever, these are the kinds of people that we're wanting to get there first. If you're feeling poorly, if you're running a fever, if you've got a cough, those are the kinds of people that should go for the screening, and then through the screening process will further determine if you have, if you're a critically at-risk type of individual for testing. So he's exactly right, and there's also one preliminary. But if you have a concern, or if you're not sure, that 311 number, once we get it up and running with our private partners, they'll also be able to further answer some of these sort of screening tests and questions for you.
So I would say it's safe to say, don't just freak out and say, well, since they're giving free screening, let me go. You might go healthy and leave ill.
Well, good concern. If you were going to a walk-in clinic or the ER, you're absolutely right. You may walk in healthy and leave ill, absolutely. So the intent, one of the intents behind this particular screening site, or these sites that we have set up, is we're going to limit that possibility by allowing the patient or our citizens to stay in their car. So you don't. It's almost like an assembly line. It's very, very impressive. Our medical teams out there that have created this process. It's very, very impressive.
I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Any other parish questions?
Mr. Naki?
Please.
You're on.
Yes, sir. You hot?
I'm hot now? Okay, good. Two questions. And one is the 211 number. That's a statewide number for information is what that is?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so just remember that in the public. If you have questions and you want to find out, there's a 211 number, which is a statewide number to find out information about COVID-19 and the symptoms and susceptibility. So feel free to use that number if you want to find out more information about the symptoms and whether or not you're symptomatic and need the screening. Those things do help the process, no doubt. One other question I had on closures. Basically, all government buildings are closed to the public, period. That's including parks and recreation, everything. But now parks are still open?
Parks are the recreation centers associated.
The rec centers are
with
closed, but parks are open. Okay, so if they want to take their child to the park, they're welcome to do that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Just exercise
That deals
social
with the
distancing.
public. Now, as far as public buildings, so LCG-owned buildings, that's parish-wide. all health centers are closed, all health centers.
Correct.
Okay. Of course, we have bars and restaurants. Anybody that's sit-down seating and not takeout is closed. We are experiencing restaurants that have developed takeout services. That's okay, I'm assuming. I don't see any problem with
Yes,
that.
and Councilman, also to just take this opportunity, for all restaurants out there that are transitioning to a delivery or pickup style situation, some of them have expressed interest in going longer hours. Just know that the administration has removed all red tape to prevent them from going to even a 24-hour operation. Not every restaurant will do it, but this is good. We're having this dialogue so that the public can see that it's a little bit of inconvenience. Everybody can agree to that, but it's a necessary inconvenience.
But that's food to go, not liquor to go.
Well, good question. It's my understanding that, the drive-through, I don't want to, hey, look, in this economy, don't drink and drive. Uber's still available, Lyft's still available. Designated drivers are still encouraged. That being said, I want to,
No open containers.
maximize the economic impact that we can. Positive impact.
No open containers, that's for sure.
That's correct. No
Yeah.
open containers.
I can see how it's hurt a lot of the industry in regards to the entertainment industry, there's no doubt. All movie theaters, are they closed? Okay. In dealing with banks and those are staying open, we're not regulating them at this point.
That is correct, and that is same guidance given to us on the federal level and the state level.
That won't be determined here. That's going to be above our head. That's a decision above our pay grade, I'm assuming.
Under the conditions that we know right now, correct. If things change, then we'll
And
take
that, of
action.
course, I'm sure will deal with any other private business that's not serving food, drink, liquor, whatever. If they're just a service industry outfit, such as building material centers, people that have need assets or things like that, that's going to be, as far as I know, there's no regulations put there yet.
As of right now, correct.
Okay, all right. And the size of the number of employees is not regulated at these buildings either, because, many of them are over 10. Is it 10's a gathering now?
The President of the United States has encouraged gatherings of over 10 to be avoided.
Correct.
The mandate is still 50 from our governor, but the strong suggestion, which I do agree with President Trump on this, if you can minimize, and the intent behind that is not to unduly infringe on our liberties. It's to combat this extremely contagious virus that has no cure.
Right. So things such as our Easter egg hunt, which was planned, any of those functions like that, even though it's an outdoor activity, it's not in a rec center, it's still, it's canceled. It just, 'cause
All
of the large
gatherings over
gatherings.
50 are mandated to be closed.
And of
correct.
course, I've noticed the diocese has shut down services, and I'm sure most of the churches have canceled all services, I'm sure, for the time being.
I know of the Catholic Church, our bishop, and actually all bishops in the state have agreed to that.
Right. Well, keep us informed, Mayor President. I know you're doing a wonderful job. Sidra, thank you very much. Y'all definitely have put in your hours. Now, you don't get overtime for this. Remember that. It had to be approved by us.
That's right. That's right. We're not asking.
Thank you for your service. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
Mr. Cook?
Go ahead.
No. Go ahead, Ms. Cook.
Okay. I've gone through 4 people, and actually, anything I was going to ask has been asked already, and one thing I did want to say is thank y'all very much for everything y'all are doing. Y'all are doing an amazing job.
Appreciate it.
Keeping the public informed, and I was at a meeting today, which, for teachers, and we were over the limit, so I'm not going to bust them all, but a lot of them were saying how much they really appreciated how well-informed they felt because of all your press conferences and all the press releases going out. So I do thank y'all for that. And I was going to question some of those closures, or not question them, but just you make sure that we continue to put that out there, what's what they are, what's open, what's closed, just so that everybody has a clearer picture. Because you spoke earlier in your press release about, maybe some, rumors that people are starting. So that we make sure that we have, that people are panicking already about groceries and things like that. So we just want to make sure that we have that information out there. And you have been doing a great job. So I just want to say, keep it up. You're doing a good job.
Thank you, Councilwoman. I appreciate it. And I, again, say that my partners here, both on the city and parish council, you guys are doing a great job too. That said, on the grocery stores, let's just remind everybody that there is no food, there's not a food shortage in our country. And as a community, another step that we can take is when you go to the grocery store, buy 1 week at a time. There's no need to buy a whole month's worth. When you're doing that, you're taking away from one of your neighbors. So let's not only exercise social distancing and all the common sense measures that we're exercising, but when you're going to plan to buy your groceries, let's go 1 week at a time and let's be good neighbors to our community.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Rubin?
Okay, and it's pretty much on that same note there. Earlier, we talked about taking care of the kids and feeding the kids in the school. Since we have the media and people are looking at us right now, we need to remember the elderly in our neighborhoods also. You know, if you're going to the store, I recommend check on your elderly, see if they need something to the store, because like you said earlier, they're the one who can get sick fastest. So instead of them going to the store, bring your kids. Let your kids go knock on the door and ask Miss Ruby, hey, Miss Ruby, you need something to the store. And let's go take care of them. That way they don't have to get out in the public, and they don't have to be susceptible. Yeah, there you go. Help me out.
I was tracking.
Yeah, thank you. But, and also, there was those elderly people that are getting around. Are they trying to do some times for them in all the stores maybe? Try to let the elderly go at like a certain time where we can't get in and let them go in there? You know, just some other things that concern about our elderly people.
Sure, and I think that's well noted. I believe that sentiment is shared by everybody in the room. One note, if you can, call the elderly to check on them as opposed to knocking on the door. That would be great. Exercise our social distance, because again, this is a situation. I'm not a medical doctor, but I've talked to more than we could count here the last week or so. But remember, we have these young little bodies in our communities that are all healthy, and they may not be symptomatic, but they may be carrying this very, very, I'm going to go ahead and say a deadly virus. And we have a demographic that may be more susceptible, and that's the elderly, that when they come into contact, it might not be a good combination. So great intent. Let's just be as smart as we can. If you know the person that may be older in age, call them. Check on them. I think what you're saying is you're summarizing some of our greatest attributes in our community. That is, check on each other. Yes. Do what we've been doing for hundreds of years. Check on one another. Do like we would any other natural disaster. That's how the administration's approaching this. This is a different type of a natural disaster, but it's a natural disaster nonetheless. And you know, when hurricanes come and flooding hit our community, what do? We do exactly what Councilman Rubin says. We go check on each other, and that's the beauty of Lafayette Parish, and this is no different. But it is a different type of a disaster, so we got to be smart. Social distancing, knock on the door is fine, but back up 3 to 6 feet if you can, and maybe talk really loud.
Yeah. And you know, when you bring these elderly, the boxes or the bags and whatnot, if you can, try to wipe it off.
There you go.
If they're ill,
sure.
You know, I've been to a couple of meetings with United Way and AVI, so they've been teaching us, you know, you wipe the boxes down because the germs can last for so much. I think it's like 24 hours or 3 days, somewhere in that area. I don't know the exact number. I don't want to quote somebody and say, if he said that, no. But wipe it down to try to kill the germs if you're going to go and shop for your neighbors, or especially if they're elderly and they have pre-existing conditions.
That's right. Thank you, Councilman. Mr. Chair, any other questions? Or?
No, before we move forward, I'd just like to thank the clerk, Veronica, and her staff for a fine job they're doing to keep everything in order.
And I will agree with that. Thank you, V.
Thank you.
And I would like to say thank you to the staff, and you
Right.
could see out there, I mean, just trying to get this ready,
Sure.
trying to get this all set
Right.
up. The staff work together. Of course, out there, that's all Jeremy.
Who's he? Who's that?
Jeremy,
Oh.
he did all the seats. And so, but I do want to thank the staff
Right.
for everything.
Okay,
We've
thank
been very busy the last couple of days.
Thank you,
And
Madam.
as it relates to, Mr. Mayor, as it relates to the $50 fee.
Sure.
A couple of council members already had started getting calls, so if you guys figure it out tomorrow, if you could send a press release or give us some information on it so that we could share it with the public.
Absolutely, and just remind, because we've had a lot of information thrown in, and really up-to-date information. Sid was passing me some notes here earlier. So again, just want to clarify, the screening is free.
Free, correct.
So I encourage you to look at the list of who's recommended to be screened. When in doubt, call 311. I strongly, again, urge everybody, call 311 in the morning as opposed to, as an alternative to showing up to the Cajun Dome. But if you prefer, go to the Cajun Dome, that's fine. Screening is free, but bring your government-issued ID, bring your insurance card, and our healthcare providers are asking that you bring $50 in case you do need a test. The flu tests are free, right? Correct. That is hot off the press, so. Okay, so the charge for the COVID test would happen at a later time. So this is literally new information, and we may even have even more of an update later on here tonight, and we will update the site and our messages to the media via press release or in some other informal fashion. But we will definitely get the information out. We're not going to sit on that because we're very proud of this screening site that everybody's put together. And again, I applaud our city and parish council for working with us on getting that up. Same thing for these other 4 sites that we're ready to put up when necessary. Are y'all ready for me to proclaim?
No, Mr. Nakane, I have 2 more. Mr. Nakane?
Thank you. Appreciate it, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
Mr. Rubin, I appreciate bringing up the aspect of the elderly, because I did have a couple of phone calls in regards to the elderly, concerns regarding prescription medicines, things that they may need help with. Is there any place they can call to get assistance with?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Nakian, that would be 232-HELP. That is the local resource or referral source. If people are having a hard time with their prescriptions, 232-HELP is going to be the referral where they can figure out where they can get some assistance paying for their prescriptions.
No, it's not just paying. I'm talking about in getting picked up and delivered even. You know, they may have trouble with that. 232-HELP could help with that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
They can assist them and then point them in the right direction and link them up.
You never know. Maybe a waiter can find a new business line doing that too.
That's a great idea.
That would work well. But the only thing is with something like that, we're dealing a lot of times with opioids and very heavy prescription medicines that need to be signed for and accounted for. We just can't have anybody delivering that. That was part of the cause. I was worried about that. The second thing I wanted to say was in times like this, and I know Mayor President Gilroy and you have always stressed that, is it's important to look at your local people, your local suppliers, your local businesses, because everybody's hurting right now. Try to support them as much as you can. If they, if you going to get takeout, try to get it locally. If you go, try to deal with people who need the help, because goodness knows this community is going to lose a lot of money, and a lot of people are going to be hurting because of less income. A lot of hourly people are probably sitting at home right now. So if we can do all we can to help these people out, it sure would be a wonderful thing to do. Remember them always, and keep them in your prayers too. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Mr. Lazar?
I'm going to be very brief since Mr. Rubin used all my time. In any event, it has to do with the shopping part. As a matter of fact, Dollar General announced on yesterday at the first hour that they're open will be set aside solely for the elderly and disabled. Right. So Dollar General stores, all Dollar General stores, the first hour that they're open, I think they open at 9, 8 or 9, I'm not sure what time. But anyway, the first hour will be set aside for the elderly and disabled.
Great. Thank you. Good information.
Ms. Cook?
Oh, okay, actually, I have a different question. Nothing about the virus.
All right.
It's about the Professional Services Committee meeting that's Thursday.
Sure.
And I'm getting, I had an email about wondering if it's going to be, it's public access to that building.
I think it's canceled.
Has that meeting been canceled?
Yeah, we canceled that. That meeting has been canceled.
Oh, it has been canceled, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, that makes that easy, thank you.
Any other questions on the COVID virus in Lafayette Parish and our screening sites?
You're good, Mr. Mayor.
And
You
I
could-
think, I just got a message saying that Champagnes for the elderly, 6 to 7, open for the elderly.
AM, Madam Clerk? AM?
AM, yes, at Champagnes.
Okay, we got,
Thank you.
okay, Mayor, President, continue.
Yes, Mr. Chair. And thank you, Madam Clerk. That's helpful information. As we continue to get this, and I know our councilman will funnel it through the administration, we'll post it up, and any information you have. So great teamwork here. Also, we had some other activities in the city and the parish, because as I remind everybody, someone in this community for years had said every inch of Lafayette City is in Lafayette Parish. So, and I know I never forget that. I don't think we do either. But Buchanan Street Parking Garage, there has been movement on that. So today, if you drive by, you'll notice that those big, heavy 3,000 to 7,000 pound concrete panels are starting to be removed. So again, I want to thank the Parish Council for not only stopping what you're doing the other day, getting up here very, very quickly, holding an emergency meeting, and allocating the funds, but you're seeing your work in progress now. So you're seeing the fruits of your hard work, and this is really going to help. I'm still crossing my fingers and saying some prayers that when we get those panels off, we reassess the situation with engineers, and who knows, maybe we can put that thing back in commerce. That would be fantastic for our wonderful city and parish. But either way, no matter what option we took, those panels have to come off, and they are starting to come off today. So good job. That's the pretty big update for us. That being said, I have a proclamation, and I am just thrilled to death to proclaim this. We have all this these serious situations going on. Well, I happen to be married to a very wonderful woman, and I have 2 daughters that I love very much. And my chief administrative officer is a lady, and we have 2 councilwomen that are sound in charge. Our clerk is a lady, and so today we're going to honor Women's History Month. So that being said, whereas American women of every culture, class, and ethnic background have made historic contributions to the growth and strength of our nation in countless recorded and unrecorded ways. And whereas American women have played and continue to play a critical economic, cultural, and social role in every sphere of the life of the nation by constituting a significant portion of the labor force working inside and outside of the home. And whereas American women have played a unique role throughout the history of the nation by providing the majority of the volunteer labor force of the nation. And whereas American women were particularly important in the establishment of early charitable, philanthropic, and cultural institutions in our nation. And whereas American women of every culture, class, and ethnic background served as early leaders in the forefront of every major progressive social change movement. And whereas the year 2020 marks the 100th anniversary of the passage of the 19th Amendment, guaranteeing and protecting women's constitutional right to vote. And whereas American women have been leaders not only in securing their own rights of suffrage and equal opportunity, but also in the abolitionist movement, the emancipation movement, the industrial labor movement, the civil rights movement, and other movements, especially the peace movement, which create a more fair and just society for all. And whereas, despite these contributions, the role of American women in history has been consistently overlooked and undervalued in the literature, teaching, and study of American history. And whereas the Lafayette Commission on the Needs of Women supports programs that recognize women and their achievements and highlights accomplished of local women. Now, therefore, I, Josh Guillory, Mayor President of the Lafayette Consolidated Government, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2020 as Women's History Month, in witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the Lafayette Consolidated Government to be affixed this 17th day of March in the year of our Lord 2020. All right. Okay. We are going to... We'll continue to exercise social distancing, but I do, again, want to recognize that we have 2 very hard-working council members that happen to be women. And, to this, we celebrate you, and we appreciate all your accomplishments and your participation in our wonderful community. Thank you. So, all right. So you'll be the keeper of the proclamation. Okay. Thank you, Councilman Knott, for handing me a very important note. Okay, so with the seriousness of the COVID-19 natural disaster, it is very, with the heavy heart and sad news that I have to announce and remind everybody that Festival International has been canceled. I did inquire about that earlier today in regards to a possible postponement. It's not out of the realm of possibility, but it's not looking too good. So Festival International, as of right now, has been canceled. We all know the huge economic impact that's going to have. please know how hard the administration is working with President Trump's administration and Governor Edwards' administration to see what we can do about a stimulus package here to Lafayette Parish. Again, I want to encourage everybody to continue to be in the forefront of this fight that we have against COVID-19. It can only help not only in combating this, but also show some or aid and some support later down the road in working with certain relief from our higher levels of government. So. Thank you. That said, Mr. Chair, I have no other information to provide.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Mr.
I just,
Nakane.
thank you. Appreciate it, Mr. Chairman. I just want to thank Mr. Scott Feehan, the chairman of the festival, for coming to such a tough decision. All that hard work they put into planning this festival, and they were so close to pulling off another wonderful year. I know it's disappointing to all the participants, to all the volunteers, to all those people that organized it, to all the bands that look forward, the acts that look forward to coming here. So our thanks to everyone who put all their time into it, and our sympathies to those who will miss it, which is basically the whole city and the parish. But thank you, Scott Feehan.
Yes. Thank you, Councilman. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thanks. Okay, let's move on to resolutions. This is a public hearing, and blue sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the councils. The 5-minute rule does apply. Jeremy, please read item number 4.
Joint Resolution 10, 2020, a joint resolution of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council designating Sun Chodo as a community housing development organization for the jurisdiction of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government.
Okay, I need a motion and second from the City Council. Motion by Mr. Andy Nakane, second by Ms. Liz Avery.
I need a motion and a second from the Parish Council. It's been moved by Mr. Tabers, seconded by Mr. Rubin.
Council's discussion on ordinance. Resolution, I'm sorry. Ms. Williams, any public comments?
No, sir.
Need a vote from each council on the joint ordinance.
City District 1,
Yes.
And it'll be via voice vote only.
Yes.
City District 2,
Yes.
City District 3,
Yes.
City District 4,
Yes.
City District 5,
Yes.
Parish District 1, Parish District 3,
Yes.
Parish District 4,
Yes.
Parish District 5. Motion to adopt by the City Council is approved. Motion to adopt by the Parish Council is approved.
Let's move on to ordinance for final adoption. This is a public hearing, and blue sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the councils. The 5-minute rule does apply. Jeremy, please read item number 5.
Joint Ordinance 8, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the non-warranty donation of the adjudicated properties at 504 South St. Antoine Street and 510 South St. Antoine Street to the Hub Lafayette Urban Ministries pursuant to Louisiana Revised Statute 47-2205.
Need a motion and second from City. Motion by Mr. Cook, second by Mr. Glenn Lazar.
Looking for a motion from the parish. Been moved by Mr. Carlson, second by Mr. Tabor.
Council discussion on ordinance. I see none. Ms. Williams, any public comments?
No, sir.
Need a vote from each council on the joint ordinance.
City District 2?
Yes.
City District 3?
Yes.
City District 4?
Yes.
City District 5?
Yes.
City District 1?
Yes.
Parish District 3?
Yes.
Parish District 4?
Yes.
Parish District 5? Parish District 1? Motion to adopt by the City Council is approved. Motion to adopt by the Parish Council is approved.
Chairman, please read item number 6.
Joint Ordinance 9, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Alarm Review Board.
I need a motion from and a second from the City Council. Motion by Mr. Glenn Lazar, second by Ms. Nanette Cook.
Need a motion, second from the Parish Council. It's been moved by Mr. Rubin, seconded by Mr. Tabor.
Council discussion on ordinance. I see none. Ms. Williams, public comments.
No, sir.
Need a vote from each council on joint ordinance.
City District 3?
Yes.
City District 4?
Yes.
City District 5?
Yes.
City District 1?
Yes.
City District 2?
Yes.
Parish District 3?
Yes.
Parish District 4?
Yes.
Parish District 5? Parish District 1? Motion to adopt by the City Council is approved. Motion to adopt by the Parish Council is approved.
Chairman, please read item number 7.
Joint Ordinance 10, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the City Parish Recreational Advisory Commission.
Need a motion and a second from the city. Motion by Mr. Nakane and second by Ms. Liz Hebert.
Need a motion second from the Parish Council. Has been moved by Mr. Tabor, seconded by Mr. Carlson.
Council discussion on ordinance. I see none. Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
I need a vote from each council, the city, on the joint ordinance.
City District 4?
Yes.
City District 5?
Yes.
City District 1?
Yes.
City District 2?
Yes.
City District 3?
Yes.
Parish District 4?
Yes.
Parish District 5?
Yes.
Parish District 1?
Yes.
Parish District 3?
Yes.
Motion by City Council to adopt is approved. Motion by Parish Council to adopt is approved.
Chairman, read 8, please.
Joint Ordinance 11, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council reorganizing the Lafayette Airport Commission.
The motion from the city, motion by Ms. Cook, second by Mr. Glenn Lazar.
Need a motion and second from the Parish Council. Been moved by Mr. Tabor, seconded by Mr. Rubin.
Council discussion on ordinance. I see none. Ms. Williams, any public comments?
No, sir.
I need a vote from each council on the joint ordinance.
City District 5?
Yes.
City District 1?
Yes.
City District 2? Yes. City District 3?
Yes.
City District 4?
Yes.
Parish District 5?
Yes.
Parish District 1?
Yes.
Parish District 3?
Yes.
Parish District 4?
Yes.
Motion to adopt by City Council is approved. Motion to adopt by Parish Council is approved.
Okay, we'll move along to introductory ordinance. I'm reminding everyone that item 9 and 10 are deferred indefinitely. I need a motion and a second to introduce in global items 11 through 13 from City Council. Motion by Ms. Liz, second by Mr. Andy Nakane.
Need a motion and second from the Parish Council. Been moved by Mr. Carlson, seconded by Mr. Rubin.
The motion and a second to introduce into global item 11 through 13 from the parish. You did that, guys? Okay. Jeremy, please read items 11 through 14.
Joint Ordinance 14, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by authorizing the transfer of $87,400 in Community Development Block Grant funds within the Community Development Department to Acadiana Cares Incorporated. Joint Ordinance 15, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring home grant expenses within the Community Development Department to the correct grant year in order to facilitate grant closeout. Joint Ordinance 16, 2020, a joint ordinance of the Lafayette City Council and the Lafayette Parish Council authorizing the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government to sell at public auction surplus vehicles, equipment, and other miscellaneous movable property which are no longer needed for public purposes as per the attached list auction.
Comments from the public concerned above introductory ordinance.
No, sir.
Council discussion. I see none. Ms. Williams, any public comments?
No, sir.
I need a vote from each council to introduce in global joint ordinance items 11 through 13.
City District 1?
Yes.
City District 2? Yes. City District 3?
Yes.
City District 4?
Yes.
City District 5?
Yes.
Parish District 1?
Yes.
Parish District 3?
Yes.
Parish District 4?
Yes.
Parish District 5?
Yes.
Motion to introduce in globo by City Council is approved. Motion to introduce in globo by Parish Council is approved.
I adjourn the Parish Council meeting.
I adjourn joint meeting and the City Council meeting.
And we'll start the city council meeting as soon as the parish council clears the floor. Thank you, guys.
Liz, you want to do this narrative of the flag? You don't mind doing that? Thank you.
Thank you, Parish Council members, for being so understanding.
Call city meeting to agenda. Start the meeting. Please, I'd like to have Miss Nanette Cook say a prayer, Miss Council Lady Lizzie Bear to say the Pledge of Allegiance.
I have a prayer of healing for tonight. God, we dwell in your house, drink in your presence, and find peace and rest in your arms. We believe in your name, ask for your healing, and believe and trust in your love. Heal those who are sick with the virus. May they regain their strength and health through their community's medical care. Be with our medical professionals who seek to heal and help those affected as they put themselves at risk in the process. May they know your protection and your peace. Be with those who have died from this virus. May they be at rest with you in your eternal peace. We need your touch. We wait on you. You are our Savior, our friend, and our hope. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We welcome you to the Lafayette City Council meeting. As presiding officer and chair, I would like to announce the following. This is a public hearing. To address the council on any item on this agenda, please fill out the request form and submit it to the clerk prior to the call of the agenda item, or you will not be given the opportunity to speak. Staff assistance is available if needed. Items for submission to the council should be handed to the council clerk, Ms. Veronica Williams, seated to my left in the middle. When addressing the council, state your name and title for the official record. The 5-minute rule will be in effect. No debating or confrontational statements will be allowed. The front row to my left is for media only. Food and drinks are not allowed in the auditorium. Please silence all phones and electronic devices. Meeting procedures are by resolutions and not by Robert's Rules of Order. All documents with reference to meetings can be found on LCG website. And finally, the council encourages your involvement in boards or commissions. If interested, please call 291-8800. The following items are being deferred indefinitely and will not be discussed or added upon at this meeting. Item number 6, CO-014-2020, 1200 South College condemnation. Item number 16, appeal, planning zoning action regarding Corinne Lane. These items will be placed on an upcoming agenda, not yet determined when it is safe for the public to attend meetings. I do not have any council meetings, chair announcement at this moment. Any council announcements? Okay, Mr. Andy Nakane.
I just, of course, we know all the suspensions and meetings are being canceled, but I did have one question. The compost facility, there is no drop-off right now because of equipment failure. They're having some issues, but what about pickup of compost? Are our residents still able to go pick up compost over there at this time?
That's a great question. We have not closed the composting facility to people to come pick up. However, since there is some level of interaction, we do ask that people go ahead and maybe just wait. I recognize that they may be taking this opportunity to freshen up their gardens, and it's springtime, but it would probably be best to minimize potential contact and interaction and just wait to go pick up anything from the compost facility.
Thank you. I'm assuming that the project front yard has been canceled, the trash bash for April 4th?
I would suspect, I haven't gotten the official word on it, but yes, I suspect that we're going to be rescheduling it, yes.
Be doing that on another date.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
That would make logical sense.
Councilman, to put an emphasis, not cancel, because that's a big event, but we will postpone. We're more than likely going to
At
postpone.
this point, it'll probably be postponed. There's no official word on it yet, but
Correct.
it could be coming forward.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Well, and we, again, encourage, we're acting in 15-day increments. We don't think we don't find a need to, or we want to avoid to overreact in any decisions we make, but we're making decisions in 14 to 15-day increments at this time.
Right, and that makes sense. I really can't think anything else. It's just for people, before they show up, call, check, see what's going on, because there will be a lot of inadvertent cancellations due to what's going on right now, and it's very important that we communicate with each other. And if you're not well, don't go. Just stay home, please. Thank you.
Okay, let's move along. Mayor President, do you have a report?
Mr. Chair, nothing new to add outside the joint council presentation, but I will make myself available to any questions that the council has.
Any questions by council members? Okay, let's move along. Comments from the public on any matter not on an agenda.
We do have one speaker, Mr. Chair.
This is the time to speak about topics relative to the city of Lafayette that are not included on agenda items. You're reminded that the 5-minute rule will be in effect. No debating or confrontational statements will be allowed. Ms. Williams.
We have one speaker, George Bentley.
Thank you all. Hope the community survives this as well as we can. I'll tell you what, the economic impact, I don't think people really realize how big that's going to be. Festival International, I don't know if y'all know this, when outside dollar comes in, it's times 7. Do the math. Anyway, what I'm here about is the same problem I've been having there on Fowler Road with the construction project across the street. During the course of all this, they put up the required plastic barricades with the screening and all that and hay bales, and of course none of it worked, and all of it's in the ditch. The ditches have not been attended to. I think they were, in fact, I know for sure those ditches were supposed to be attended to because I actually applied to be contacted long before this happened in the past year and a half, and never been called by anybody that has anything to do with drainage on Fowler Road. That's on one side. On the other side, they ran a cable, electrical cable, from their side underneath the road to the telephone pole in front of my yard. Easy deal, right? Well, of course, needless to say, they ran right through my sewer line. Thank God I found that out, my private sewer line. Thank God I found that out today as opposed, recently, at the time, as opposed to at some point in the future, 20 years from now. Anyway, in the course of things, of course, they managed to get a tool over there to do all this construction because now they had to dig up the sewer line in my yard, figure out where everything was. Next thing you know, it got to be a ride. It started off at 3 o'clock. It ended up at about 8 o'clock, and in between, one guy went flying up in the air when they hit him with a car. Okay? They stuck these two tools, these two units in the ditch, and they created 2 swing pools. One's on the property line between me and Judge Jules Edwards, and the other one is in front of Judge Jules Edwards' empty lot. Okay? Well, when they were doing this, they went to dig out the one piece of equipment, and of course they bogged down in his yard. Nothing has been done to correct this. At what point can we count on our city parish government to at least address some of the issues that I'm pointing out here? Now, I told the people, I said, it was on December the 2nd, because I know that was the day the guy got hit. I said, it's kind of dry. Come back, at least do the primary, because it's going to take 2 shots to straighten out this. You ain't going to be able to do it with one, period. End of story. Won't happen because of the mess. The other thing is we as citizens are supposed to cut the grass. I'm 73 years old. I don't need to trip in a pothole that's been fixed many times in front of my house along the shoulder of the road and fall in front of a car going down the road. I just really don't need it. But at what point does I would assume that somewhere in city parish government there is, send somebody with public works out there, check the ditches, and tell these people, I would assume that they're responsible for it, but I don't know. All I know is nothing's been done, and that's not even touching the drainage issue with the ditch that's been blocked off or swelled down from 14 by 4 foot to a 24-inch pipe, which was the outfall for that coulee. Can I get an answer to anybody who can tell me who I should go to or who should come to me about saying about sicking whatever authority we've got on that? I mean, these people have even dropped. One Sunday morning, I got to the house, and they had rocks. We're not talking about softball, but we're not talking about tennis ball. We're talking about the size of a hard ball down the whole road. It spilled off a truck. Okay, Monday morning, I called the city police, said, well, we can't do anything about it. I said, you can't go tell them to come clean this mess up? Now, of course, the rocks are flying off the cars into the yards. I mean, I got rocks 15 to 20 feet into my yard, because we're talking about this. Hit that at 35 miles an hour, okay? The city police says, well, we can't do anything about it. I said, you know, if I'm driving down University and rocks are falling off my trailer, I bet you they're going to do something about that. I mean, where do you go and what do you do? And I'm not talking baloney. Any comments, ideas, whatever? What's the solution?
Mr. Bentley, it's good to see you again. We've had several conversations, but I haven't heard from you in a while about this rock issue, so I apologize.
Well, the rock issue was way back.
Okay.
But this is the kind of thing that's been going on.
Okay,
I mean,
but
the rock issue was back in there's a police report possibly on it. God knows what they did. But that was, I mean, it was like, can you come in Lafayette, do whatever you want to, block off ditches, I mean, I've got pictures like you wouldn't believe. I mean, the memo I sent you last year about not blocking off that outfall was on March the 8th, I think. That's been 1 year now.
Well, that's what I was going to tell you. We're going to pull up the service requests because they were put in, Public Works went out and inspected. So if you and I'll be happy to review with you what service requests have been pulled up, if we could pull those up, please, and see what was done. And what I know that we communicated what was being done, and I'm not sure that, I mean, there was a disagreement
I was talking to you mostly about the drainage issue with the coulee as opposed to the drainage issue with the ditches. What I'm saying is, though, this other thing that came up on December the 2nd. Okay. Now, I never discussed any of that with you because I kept saying they were going to fix it. In fact, I put in a call to the guy yesterday, didn't hear back from him, who I thought would come do it because yesterday would have been a perfect day. The ditch was dry. That's the problem.
Well, we can check on that service request as well. I'm not sure who you spoke to then, but we can pull that up and see what the status of it is, and we can, I will follow up with you on that.
Well, I did call my neighbor, Ms. Alexander.
Okay.
Excuse me, sorry about that. Mrs. Rita Edwards.
Edwards.
Okay. And asked her if they had fixed the ruts in her yard.
Okay.
And she said nothing had been done. They gave her a number. Nobody called her back on it.
Okay. Well, I would love to follow up with that for you.
Well,
And see
I
what.
would like to have an inspector with maybe Public Works, drainage, contact me and tell them exactly what we're talking
Well,
about.
it won't, I mean, I will get somebody that is more educated than myself in terms of the public work, but I will follow up with the request to find out who's been dealing with it, and I can give you a report on that.
All right, appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.
Anything else?
Any more comments? Okay, let's move over on to ordinance for final adoption. This is a public hearing, and blue sheets are available for anyone wishing to address the council. The 5-minute rule does apply. Okay, item number 6 has been deferred indefinitely. Jeremy, please read item number 7.
City Ordinance 15, 2020. An ordinance of the Lafayette City Council amending the Unified Development Code so as to reclassify the property of Paul M. Khalil, case number ZON 2020-2126, Fountain Bend Drive rezoning, located generally east of Target Loop, west of Fountain Bend Drive, and north of Johnson Street, the particular parcel being rezoned from commercial heavy to commercial mixed.
Moved by Mr. Andy Nakane, second by Ms. Liz Hebert. Council discussion. I see none. Ms. Williams, any public comments?
No, sir.
Need a vote from the council to adopt the ordinance.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? Yes. Motion to adopt is approved. City Ordinance 16, 2020. An ordinance of the Lafayette City Council amending the Unified Development Code and the official map of the City of Lafayette, providing for the annexation of additional land into the corporate limits of the City of Lafayette, Louisiana, case number ZON 2020-3, Audubon Lake Subdivision Annexation, located generally east of Crossbill Drive, south of Kingfisher Drive and west of Vero School Road, and assigning a zoning classification of residential single-family, District 4.
Motion and second. Motion by Mr. Andy Nakane, second by Ms. Cook. Any council discussion? I see none. Ms. Williams, public comments?
No, sir.
I need a vote from the council to adopt the ordinance.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5? Yes. District 1?
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved. City Ordinance 17, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council amending the Unified Development Code and the official map of the City of Lafayette, providing for the annexation of additional land into the corporate limits of the City of Lafayette, Louisiana, case number ZON 2020-4, 411 Crestlawn Drive annexation, located generally north of Crestlawn Drive, east of Blue Cross Lane, and west of Perrette Drive, and assigning a zoning classification of residential, single-family, District 3.
Motion and second, please. Motion by Mr. Glenn Lazar, second by Ms. Nanette Cook. Council discussion? Ms. Williams, public
sir.
comments? Need a vote from the council to adopt ordinance.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Ye-
District 1?
Yes.
District 2? Motion to adopt is approved. City Ordinance 18, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council amending the Unified Development Code so as to reclassify the property of Mitchell P. Royer, case number ZON 2020-5, 1101 East Pont de Mouton Road rezoning, located generally west of Louisiana Avenue, east of Dewberry Drive, and north of East Pont de Mouton Road, the particular parcel being rezoned from residential single-family to mixed-use neighborhood.
Motion and second. Motion by Mr. Nakane, second by Ms. Webb. Council discussion? Ms. Williams, public comments?
No, sir.
I need a vote from the council to adopt the ordinance.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved. City Ordinance 19, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council approving a conditional use permit to allow a bar lounge in a downtown zoning district, case number ZON 2020-6, 417 Jefferson Street, conditional use permit located generally south of Garfield Street, north of East Congress Street, and south of Jefferson Street.
Motion and second. Motion by Mr. Glenn Lazar, second by Ms. Cook. Council discussion? I see none. Ms. Williams, any public comments?
No, sir.
Need a vote from council to adopt the ordinance.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved. City Ordinance 20, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by budgeting $7,000 overtime grant from the United States Marshals Services and a contribution from the Lafayette City Marshal's Office of $959 for associated retirement costs.
Motion by Mr. Nakane, second by, Ms. Cook. Any council discussion? Ms. Williams, any public comment?
No, sir.
Need a vote from the council to adopt the ordinance.
District 1?
Yes.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved. City Ordinance 21, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget and adjusting manning tables of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing the use of the city general fund balance by $144,435 and appropriating within the promotion cost account for the Lafayette Police Department.
Motion and second. Motion by Ms. Cook, second by Mr. Nakane. Any council discussion? I see none. Ms. Williams, any comments?
No, sir.
Need a vote from the council to adopt the ordinance.
District 2?
Yes.
District 3?
Yes.
District 4?
Yes.
District 5?
Yes.
District 1?
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved. City Ordinance 22, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council providing for the abandonment of a utility servitude on Lot 24-A of La Bonvie, Phase IB subdivision located at 216 North Montalban Drive.
Moved by Mr. Lazar, second by Mr. Nakane. Any council discussion? None. Ms. Williams, comments from the public?
No, sir.
Need a vote from the council to adopt the ordinance.
District 3,
Yes.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2. Motion to adopt is approved. City Ordinance 23, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council providing for the abandonment of a 10-foot utility easement and the granting of a 5-foot utility easement on Lot 215A of Oakbourne Estate subdivision located at 237 Country Club Drive.
Moved by Ms. Cook, second by Mr. Andy Nakane. Any council discussion? Comments from the public, Ms. Williams?
No, sir.
Need a vote from the council to adopt the ordinance.
District 4,
Yes.
District 5,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2,
Yes.
District 3.
Yes.
Motion to adopt is approved.
Okay, the appeal has been deferred indefinitely. So let's move over to introductory ordinance. Need a motion and a second from the council to introduce ordinance items 17 through 19 in global. Moved by Mr. Andy Nakane. Second by Ms. Cook. Jeremy, please read items 17 through 19.
City Ordinance 25, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council amending the fiscal year 1920 operating and capital budgets of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government to transfer funds for the Bottle Art Lofts project loan into a separate account created for that purpose by using the University Avenue Initiative activity to fund capital projects previously funded with funds from the City General Fund, reducing the contribution from City General Fund to the University Avenue Initiative activity and appropriating $1,535,000 within the Development and Planning Department. City Ordinance 26, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council amending the fiscal year 1920 operating budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by increasing revenues in the amount of $38,107 received from the Louisiana Commission on Law Enforcement and appropriating within the Lafayette Police Department. City Ordinance 27, 2020, an ordinance of the Lafayette City Council amending the fiscal year 1920 capital budget of the Lafayette City Parish Consolidated Government by transferring $10,666 from the handheld Ultimate Light Source account within the Lafayette Police Department to replace a forensic computer for crime scene.
Any comments from the public concerning the introductory ordinance?
No, sir.
Any council discussion? I see none. Ms. Williams, nothing? Okay, I need a vote to introduce in global items 17 through 19.
District 5,
Yes.
District 1,
Yes.
District 2, District 3,
Yes.
District 4.
Yes.
Motion to introduce in globo is approved.